Going to be trying to harvest some mullein today on my property. This one is a nice large one. I believe it's in its second year, going to flower. It's going to try to get its roots. We'll see if I can. This ground is very hard and rocky, so it may be difficult. Alright, so we harvested one big mullein plant. Now my husband's digging up the second one. I'm really hoping to get a fair amount of roots to dry out and potentially tincture. And then I'll use the leaves. Definitely going to dry those and use as a tincture. Now, our ground here is very rocky. We're on a hillside. There's my Great Pyrenees. He's a good boy. This went much quicker when he did it. Oh yeah, look at that. Right, I harvested my mullein and I broke off all the leaves from the plant. I got quite a bit of leaves, and now I'm just gonna, I rinsed them a little bit in the hose just to try to knock off any spiders or gnats or something that might be in there. And now I'm just gonna rinse them off real good in my salad spinner. Rinse them and then spin them to help dry it a bit. And once I get all of this stuff done, I'll set it on my little drying rack. I did make a mullein tincture about a year ago, but it was my first tincture ever, and I'm not very confident about the soil that it was harvested from. I worry about the heavy metals and such that it might have absorbed, so I'm actually going to throw that tincture out and be using this new stuff for a new tincture after it dries, because it was harvested from the side of the hill on the back part of my property, so I'm definitely more confident about the quality of soil that it was harvested from. Just gonna take this. Alright, so this is the last of the leaves. They're actually really nice and large compared to the last time when I was, my first time harvesting, I was harvesting from little baby plants and I just had tiny leaves. So this is kind of nice to see these big leaves. I'm gonna take these and put them all, actually, I'm gonna start putting them back into this. So I'm going to take them to my drying rack in the other room. Try to lay them out as best I can. It's a lot of leaves. So that's from two large plants that this is spring of their second year. So according to the books that I've been reading up on mullein, they say it's best to harvest in spring of the second year or fall of the first year of the plant. All right, here's my drying rack. I'm going to try and set the mullein onto. All right, that made quite a lot of leaves to dry out. That might take a while. They have quite a bit of moisture in them. I'll check back on them regularly until they're nice and crumbly. All right, there's my mullein leaves set to dry. All right, here are the roots that I was able to harvest. I think they turned out pretty good. We'll see how much it makes when they're chopped up. I'm gonna scrub them real good, try to get all the dirt off. I rinsed them already once, but I'm gonna try to wash them again. So, I'm actually very excited about this mullein root. I've never done a root tincture before, and so this will be my first one. And it's supposed to be good for bladder strength. And I personally go to the bathroom a lot. And right now I'm pregnant, so I go to the bathroom even more. So I'm hoping maybe a tincture that I can put in some hot tea to boil off the alcohol could potentially help with that a little bit. I'm going to do a little more research on that myself, and I recommend you do all your own research. I am not an herbalist. I do not have a medical degree. I am not recommending or prescribing or anything with these, giving any medical advice. It's just what I'm going to try for myself and see how it goes. I've been watching some other herbalism videos and have several herbalism books myself, and sometimes the books will actually kind of not exactly contradict each other, but they'll have different information. Sometimes one book I have didn't even mention the roots being used of mullein, while two others did, and only one of the three talked about how to tincture it. So I definitely recommend getting several different sources when looking up how to do any type of tincturing or how to use an herb for your own health, anything like that. All right, I think that's pretty good. Use this brush and scrub this a little bit more. Like I said, I've already washed this once. This is just another little scrub to make sure I get it as clean as I can. All right. All right, I chopped it up in my little food processor here. Actually, it's quite a, you can really smell it a little bit. Now I have my scale. I put the bowl here just to catch any that I don't get into the actual cup. We'll see how much I actually harvested. All right, so I feel like this is actually a pretty good amount, 2.3 ounces. And I think that fills the jar a good amount with fresh root. And now I'm going to be using 50% vodka to mix in and tincture with. Now the book I'm referencing, Wild Remedies by Rosalie de la Forêt and Emily Hahn, it says to do a 1:2 ratio. So we have 2.3 ounces I'm going to do 2.3 fluid ounces of vodka. All right, so since I have 2.3 ounces of mullein root, I will be putting about 4.6 ounces of 50% vodka in. And that covers it all, so that's good. All right, see, and now I am taking notes. I think it's good. Make sure you take notes of what you're putting in, and then you're going to need to label, and then I'm going to here's the lid. Alright, so got my lid on. Gonna shake it up. See how that looks. See, everything's floating around good. So here's my first mullein root tincture. Now let that sit, shake it regularly for about a month, and then I'll strain it off and label it again into another jar, and it'll be ready to use.